grill. So we've got a couple different things here. You can see I've got to learn a little about the grill today. I'm supposed to do a full series on that. I actually grilled a full rack of ribs last night. It was pretty amazing, and should have shot some video of that. So anyway, it's a 50-gallon drum that's been cut in half. And originally, when it was put into this, it was all welded together. So you can see we've got tack welds in all the corners, but the original drum rusted out. So you can see that later on, I did not have a welder, didn't have access to it, so I put in some of those pieces here. What I'm working on today is I've got a piece of wire, goes corner to corner here. It's got that mechanical piece that I'm putting on it, and so I've pulled out my pieces of wire that I have in the back, and I cut myself piece that fits it. So looking at things here, we've got a spot that's already threaded through here that I drilled with a drill. I'm gonna make sure that this is all twisted up, and this just supports the lid as it comes back. And what I'm looking for is my other piece here. Got this. Everything threads through here, and then you bolt that down nice and tight to hold that in there. And that is going to come down and run through a point right down here. Try to make sure everything's together. I'm going to have to actually move the grate. It comes out, which also needs some work on it. The hard part is knowing what I'm actually shooting at with this thing. So we're looking right through here. Pop that through and look to see that we've got tension. What we want, not too much, not too little. Hook that a little bit. Loosen those bolts up, because that is then going to thread right up through here. And then we're really working just to thread this back down. Which I actually have a little socket wrench that's actually the right size for this. I just don't have it, I think it's at the office right now, honestly. So good enough, maybe what I get out of this, not great. I'll come back and I think that's pretty good. Let's take a look at the rest of the grill here. What we have down here is we've got 2 pieces of wire mesh, just stuff that I purchased at Lowe's. It was like $8. So I purchased that, and that's what the coals sit on. So you can see, you burned some coals last night. It was burned almost completely down, and you can see that allows me to have a spot to put the charcoal above this base. Now the downside is that we've had enough, so I need to go and remove all of that out of there. I've got my cool area over here where that's usually filled with water that gets most of the drippings, and then this is just a leftover. This is some hickory wood chunks that were burned in here with the rest of it, and that's what gives most of the food its flavor. So you can see here, like, this is not tack welded like it was previously, but because of the size of the drum, it sits right down in here, and I took and bolted it into this area too. Both of these used to be tack welded in here. That just put in some bolts. Same thing with these hinges here, that was tack welded. So I just put all that in there. Now this is the actual grill surface, and we'll take that and we'll throw that in here. It sits right on top of that, and that's just more of that, I don't even know how to describe it. It's basically some type of grate, but it's all been tack welded on this piece of L channel to create a nice grill surface. And I cook on this side, cook on this side, and over here I have my heat. Now, if I'm cooking anything with direct heat, like a steak, or if I'm doing any vegetables, I put that on this side. You can see these are horseshoes have been welded in here. That tack weld is starting to go on this side. But boy, this thing smells good. Go ahead and close that down. I cut this off of the original barrel. Again, since I couldn't tack weld anything in it, I put a piece of oak between the barrel and this. This used to get pretty warm, but because I've got that, I don't get any problems with getting too much heat in there. And the one thing that I struggle with is I never knew how hot it was getting. I put in this just standard kitchen thermometer. I cut myself a hole in this and then just pop that in there. And usually, especially on this side, because I was very curious about how warm this was going to be getting, it runs at about 215 to 220 most of the time when I'm cooking. And I leave things on there for a really, really long time. So for example, with the ribs that I cooked last night, those were on there for 3-4 hours. Now the rest of this is just regular square tube steel. And you can see that that's real simple. These are again more of that grate. Well, continuing our look at the grill here. Same thing with these, you know, hinges in the back. Previously they were welded on here. I just got new hinges rather than cut off the other hinges and drill everything out. Probably the most difficult thing that was done on this grill was tracing out this line all the way across and then taking a jigsaw and cutting that all the way through, and then also had to take my palm sander and sand this whole thing down to make sure that there were no sharp edges. I've actually created this opening. There's an intake for oxygen on the bottom, which is very small, which is fine. It keeps it kind of hot where I want it. But I created this as well so that I could close that. I could keep partial access and increase the airflow from the bottom through the top throughout the entire time. I never could find a metal plug for that, so I literally just put in some paper towels, and you can see the amount of smoke that comes through that. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the quick little fix that we did on this grill. And one of my favorite pieces around here. It's one of the cheapest, most efficient things that I have. So I'll see you in the next video.